the competition section of a business plan is the section in which you're going to outline the options that exist for your prospective customers, right? Because the competition section is not a competition outlining who competes with your direct products and services. It's a competition section outlining if there was a competition for the dollars that are in your prospective client's pockets, what options would that person have? So for instance, if I was going to open up a donut shop, yes, another donut shop is a direct competitor, but they're also indirect competitors, right? So if someone wants a muffin or a bagel for breakfast, that is my competition as well. I'm competing for any money a prospective client is going to spend on breakfast, right? Traditionally breakfast. So when we're thinking the competition section, remember, it's not just direct competitors, it is indirect competitors as well. When you're thinking of the competition section, there could be many competitors in your particular area. I typically tell my clients, you want to go no less than 3 and no more than 5 or 6, right? If you have a competition section that has 40 different competitors, anyone reading the business plan is going to be overwhelmed with how much competition you have. And yes, you don't want to minimize or ignore your competition, but what you're trying to do in this section is to show that you've done your research, but you still feel, even after understanding the market and understanding your competitors, you still feel that you are offering something that's unique, that can get beyond the other competitors, that is better than the other competitors, right? So you want to include at least 3, but no more than 5 or 6. If there are more competitors in your area, great. When you start out the competition section, just note that. Say, hey, there are 12 other donut shops in the area, but the following 5 donut shops I feel are my closest competitors, right? And I also included a bagel shop. So when we're looking at the particular section and how to write that section up, I usually tell people the first thing you need to do, if you have a location-dependent business, that you're going to think of what is the average drive time that you feel a customer would do in order to get to a similar service, right? Either drive time or miles, because that's your radius of who your competitors are, you know, how many people are in that particular radius. If there's a great donut shop up in Bangor, but I'm in Portland, well, they're not really a competitor. So make sure you know what your particular region is. Now, with the internet and online only businesses, this has gotten a lot harder because your competitors could be anywhere, right? So it's a little harder for those type of businesses, and what you're looking for those type of businesses is who has the largest market share. Those are your competitors if it's online, because there's less barriers to entry, right? It's not location specific. So first we're going to try to figure out what is our area, and then we're going to identify specific competitors by name and address if possible, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a mental map for whoever is reading this business plan of where your competitors are. So who they are, where they're located, and I usually tell people, put in brackets, you know, how many miles away that competitor is, because now you're really creating a mental map. Now, when you talk about the competitor, I often see people minimize or otherwise maybe say negative things about their competitors. It's the exact opposite in this section. You don't want to minimize or say negative things. They are a competitor because of a reason. Their business is successful. They are still in business for a reason. So what is their secret sauce, right? Why is it that they are a strong competitor? You're going to highlight the best aspects of your competitor, because that's what we're trying to get to, is there's a competitor out there and this is how they are doing a good job, right? When you're mentioning the competitor, you mention the good job and you mention their price. They're doing a good job and this is the price, because remember in the earlier section in the products and services, when you mentioned your price, this is where it ties in. Now that you had already talked about your products and services and what your price is, now you're talking about your competitors. how they're doing it, what their secret sauce is, and what their price is. Because now the person reading this has a geographical mental map, and they have a price mental map of what's going on in your particular market. And so they can better understand what's going on. Now, this is really important. For the competitor section, we never leave it at, here's a competitor, here's how they're really good and what their price is, right? Because then anyone reading it is going to want to go to the competitors. So what we really want to do is, after we've talked about either each individual competitor or after we talk about all the competitors, we want to follow that up immediately with some kind of analysis of our understanding of the competitors and why we feel we are offering something that's more unique or more of a benefit, and why we think people are still going to want to choose us even after knowing what competitors are out there, right? And the example I have online, I highlighted the competitors and then highlighted why people would still want to go to Pete's Seats even after having these other options available. And sometimes the choice is simply based on pricing, sometimes it's experience, but that's what you're really trying to get to is, hey, there's people out there doing a job and they're in business, so they're doing something right. I think I'm going to be able to offer something to the industry in general that is going to be competitive with these competitors, right? So you really want to highlight good things about the competitors, what their price is, and how you fit into that, and why you think you are going to be a contender in the market.